Good morning. It is 9:05 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Very excited for the show today. We got a lot of fun things to talk about, a lot of news that could be breaking as the day goes on. Looking at you, Department of Education. Are we really going to get rid of the Department of Education today with an executive order?
Yep.
Woo! Sign me up. Sign me up.
Yeah, so it's going to be tricky because Congress is the one that approved the Department of Education, so it has to be dismantled, but not taken away, not decimated, because Congress would have to approve that first.
Ever since it came into creation, our education standards have fallen.
Tanked.
Right? So if it's not doing anything good and it's only siphoning money off the top, what are liberals going to say to argue in favor of it?
It doesn't matter. If Donald Trump is on this side, they'll be on that side.
True. Maybe he should just go the other way and be like, I want two Department of Educations and see what happens. We're going to talk with White House reporter for Turning Point USA, Monica Page. She's going to be joining the show at 10:35. Very excited to talk with her. She's got the schedule every day for the White House. The only thing on it today, 2 o'clock Eastern, signing executive orders. So we're looking forward to that. Plus, we got a lot of reaction and follow-up to the State of the Union. Donald Trump calling for action for the Republicans, saying what the Democrats did at the State of the Union, the joint session of Congress. I know it's the joint session, but it's like, it was just the State of the Union. Like, who cares? Who cares? So people will get upset on the text line. It's not the State of the Union. I know. So anyway, at the State of the Union, we had the Democrats being very, very upset, acting like petulant children. Trump took to True Social last night, said, hey, Republicans, you need to use this, and you need to use it bigly, posting, the Democrats should lose the midterms based on their behavior at last night's joint address to Congress. All Republicans must use their behavior on men and women's sports, their very dangerous open border policy, high energy and taxes, and much else. Also, Republicans should utilize the footage provided on the total disrespect they showed to all of those that were honored last night, including the young ladies who were killed by illegal migrants, people with terminal cancer, etc. They didn't even have the common courtesy to stand, smile, or applaud. This could be, on analyzing the full tape of the historic event, your full campaign to victory. In other words, Republicans can take what happened last night and win any race in the country. Good luck. He's not wrong. And if you've looked at the Democrats' social media strategy, I mean, don't do that. Don't do that. They have not been doing it right. Trump's social media strategy has been king for a while when it comes to politicians. And I think the Republicans would be wise to heed his advice. Use it to your full advantage. Don't interrupt your enemies while they're making mistakes, and don't forget to use the evidence of them making a mistake to win your race. We need that. One Democrat actually went on MSNBC, and I couldn't believe this. This was yesterday. He's out of California, so you already know that the crazy is baked into the cake. This is Rep. John Garamendi on Trump's speech and the Democrats' behavior.
And how did you see the reaction of Democrats at the House last night?
The Democrats decided to be polite and to not engage in demonstrations of one sort or the other. I think much to the disappointment of press that really wanted to see some sort of a circus. We did have one of our colleagues did speak out. Al Green has traditionally done that. He did his thing. He was escorted from the floor. The Democrats made a decision that we were going to be polite, and we were.
What? The Democrats made a decision that they were going to be polite, and they were, as we had one old Democrat man shouting at the president, shaking his cane, and then we had Jasmine Crockett storm out in protest with her T-shirt. We had the bingo signs, which high memeable quality content right there, but just polite. They were anything but polite. They wouldn't even clap for a kid with cancer. I understand that the Democrats live on an alternate plane of reality, but this guy, Rep. John Garamendi out of California, different kind of special. Different kind of special. Hey, enjoy the echo chamber. It must be nice. DJ Daniels was the big story at the joint session of Congress. That's all anybody's been talking about. The 13-year-old boy who had brain cancer was supposed to last 5 months, and it's been 6 years, which is an unbelievable story. But he was everywhere yesterday. He popped up on the War Room with Steve Bannon.
Steve, I am so honored of every guest I've ever had on our show to have, can I call you officer or agent, DJ Daniel, all of the above?
It really don't matter to me. I love women, so I don't care.
I like this kid more and more the more I hear him. Did he say I love women, so whatever you need? Whatever. So Natalie Winters is who's interviewing him on the War Room. She is, I mean, she's a pretty lady. And DJ Daniels, he's going full Wayne Gretzky. You miss all the shots you don't take.
To have, can I call you officer or agent, DJ Daniel, all of the above?
It really don't matter to me. I love women, so I don't care.
That's amazing. DJ Daniel, I want to ask you, first and foremost, do you love President Trump? And are you so excited to be here on the White House grounds?
Obviously, because I gave him a great note that says Donald Trump is the best president of the United States of America.
And why do you feel that way?
Because honestly, I honestly wanted to see Donald Trump in real life, and now it's actually came true. And to my friends, I know one of my friends told me to say this to Donald Trump, but I didn't say it to him. So good luck, buddy.
Last thing, because we know you got to bounce. What would your one piece of advice for the Secret Service be?
Please stop being mean to President Trump, because if I see you being mean to him, I'm coming after you.
I love that. I think
That's incredible. That's incredible.
That's great.
And then he got to go to the Oval Office. DJ Daniels took the Oval Office yesterday, and Trump greeted him, gave him a big hug, and Trump just doing Trump things. He's like, "Wow, look at this family. What a wonderful family we got here."
What a good-looking family, huh?
There's one more thing I got for you, a big hug.
Okay, good. That's very nice. Look at that family you got, huh? Very nice. How are you? Nice to see you.
I mean, Trump just doing Trump things, and I love that DJ Daniels' story didn't end at the speech. I love that he got another day. He got to go get that tour of the White House, go to the Oval Office, get on the War Room. Like, I mean, the kids got to be floating on cloud nine. And I hadn't seen this beforehand, but there's videos going around now where it's showing DJ Daniels a few months back in I think it's his hometown.
Getting bullied. Oh, man, that just made me so sad.
Bullied because he's wearing his policeman's uniform.
Yeah.
And he's in the inner city, it looked like, and the other youths around him think it's quite hysterical that he wanted to be a police officer. And it's like, hey, look at me now. Look at me now. They laughed back then, and now DJ Daniels in the Oval Office, and one of, if not the most famous person in America yesterday, one of them, easily. Huge moment of the sun for him. And then the House yesterday, a lot of fallout from that State of the Union that wasn't a State of the Union. Al Green getting censured, which, listen, I think the whole censoring stuff is dumb. I really do. I think it's a massive waste of time. I think it's a waste of taxpayer dollars. And at the end of the day, Al Green is still going to be there to do Al Green things with the rest of the Democrat Party. So, why are we doing it? It just seems like a ridiculous waste of time and money. But Al Green was censured, and he was defending himself yesterday, doing his best on the House floor to defend himself.
And I did it with intentionality. The president indicated that he had a mandate. I said to the president, you do not have a mandate to cut Medicaid.
The president said he had a mandate. Yes. Popular vote, 7 swing states, the massive shift in the right in just about every county in the country. Yes, the president has a mandate. You do not have a mandate to cut Medicaid. It's like, dude, do you see what we're spending money on? Do you see what DOGE has been exposing? If you want the president to save Medicaid, get on board with what Elon's doing over at DOGE. We're not going to be able to pay for anything if we don't right the ship very soon. This is what the funniest thing about a lot of these Democrats. He's cutting Medicaid. He's going to cut Social Security. It's like, do you think Social Security lasts if we continue sending millions of dollars for circumcisions in Mozambique? Or for, what was it? Was it diversity in Lesotho or something like that? Nobody knows where that is. Nobody knows what sedentary migrants are and why we need to prioritize diversity for them.
Well, they know where it is as of 8:40 p.m. 2 days ago.
Yeah, honestly. But, I mean, you want us to save all these government programs? Okay, well, get on board with the cuts that DOGE is trying to do.
$40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is. $8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of. $60 million for indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment in Central America. $60 million.
The list goes on and on and on and on. Now, my mother and father-in-law are in town. They're going to be here for like about a week or so. And we were talking last night. I played them this clip. They're like, is that all true? And it's like, yes. Yep. And they have receipts. They're like, that's insane. Like, yes. Yes, it surely is. And you don't hear it on the mainstream media. You hear, Elon's looking into your personal information. Elon, we can't let him have access to the Treasury. What are we doing with these DOGE kids? We can't listen to these young DOGE kids. Listen to this 16-year-old about climate change and this 15-year-old about gun safety. But don't listen to the DOGE kids, whatever you do. It's just the hypocrisy knows no bounds. But no. It's all true, all verified. $10 million for circumcisions in Mozambique, and I mean, at a certain point, I could probably just start making stuff up, and it would probably be very close to the truth. Transgender comic books in Peru. Oh wait, no, that was real. That was real. And a lot of people go, well, what's going to happen? Right? Like we need to do something. Well, criminal charges are now being considered for USAID staff after DOGE has uncovered this abuse. And I just say, let's go. Let's go. Seriously, criminal charges. Like, sign me up. Federal workers at USAID, this is from Daily Mail, at USAID could find themselves behind bars for fraud after DOGE uncovered a massive spending scandal at the program. DailyMail.com has learned Pete Morocco, Deputy Administrator Designate at USAID, provided the House Foreign Affairs Committee with a briefing on Capitol Hill Wednesday while discussing the review of foreign aid implemented by President Trump. Morocco told the committee he is considering sending criminal recommendations to the Justice Department regarding actions within USAID being exposed by Elon Musk's DOGE. Please and thank you, sir. Apparently, there's still judicial action that has even come out as late as this morning. Rep. Keith Self, Republican out of Texas, who was in the meeting, told DailyMail.com in an exclusive interview. They intend to refer USAID officials to DOJ, he shared, noting how fraud is a criminal act. Let's go. Accountability is the name of the game. We need accountability. You know, the other night we were at the Nashville Palace. Murphy, and I said to him after we were done, I was like, why didn't you ask that question on air? I was ready for this question. Murphy, as I'm driving in, he's on the broadcast. He's like, what would you grade the Trump administration right now? And I'm thinking to myself, like, what grade would I give the Trump administration? I think as of today, B+. B+. And there's a couple ways to get into that A range. I'm never going to give anybody an A+. There's always going to be more work to do. And so A+ is already off the table, right? You want to get into A- A territory? Let's get the numbers of deportations way up, and let's see some criminal charges and accountability. I don't even really care where they begin, honestly. Do you want to begin with Epstein files and Epstein clients? Cool. Do you want to begin with USAID? That's fine. Like wherever you want to begin, but can we actually get some accountability and a little bit less of the talk? Hopefully at USAID, that process is beginning. The Republicans shared that Morocco left open the possibility that both USAID workers and grant recipients could be recommended for crimes. Both sides of the coin here. If they are detecting outright fraud, not just bad programs, not just unnoble programs, not just programs that don't support the national interest of the United States, but if they're finding fraud, then absolutely the wrongdoers should be prosecuted. Republican Rep. Keith Self out of Texas said, and I completely agree. Republican Keith Self noted that Morocco said USAID would not share their plans for criminal recommendations unless they had a rock-solid paper trail. You're going to have a paper trail to have a paper trail to prove that, Self added, and I doubt that they would refer anyone without a very strong paper trail. So criminal charges could be on the table for USAID workers and grant recipients, but they're only going to bring them if it's rock solid. Fingers crossed that we see some movement happening there. We got a lot to cover. There's some more fallout when it comes to USAID, DOGE, and the State of the Union that wasn't a State of the Union. We'll cover that on the way. Plus, yesterday, we had the sanctuary city mayors down in the halls of Congress answering for their crimes that they've committed at the sanctuary city level. Criminal charges coming for them as well. We'll talk about it. Plus, Monica Page, White House reporter, is going to be joining the show at 10:35. We got some executive orders that are going to be signed today. Department of Education, is the DOE about to be DOA? We'll talk about it. It's 9:22 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Bail is set at $100,000 for a woman who admits she ran over a man on a scooter and then took off. And it appears there'll be no more refugees arriving in the Nashville area after a resettlement program got DOGed. Those stories and more coming up at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan Jones. 28 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can watch the show over on YouTube. Please hit like and subscribe. My kids really want to go to summer camp. I told them it's not going to happen unless we get those likes up. You wouldn't want them to be stuck at the house all summer, would you? No, hit like and subscribe. Did you? All right, so there's a video going around. I don't know who's doing social media for the Democrats, but this is embarrassing. It gets worse and worse and worse. If you thought the Jasmine Crockett, Kendrick Lamar video was bad.
Oh, my goodness. That was rough.
Yeah, but that one looks great compared to this one.
Yeah.
There's a new video, and it's with a bunch of Democrat ladies. And it says, choose your fighter. And then it's got, what, Super Smash Brothers music?
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
That's what that is, yeah. I
And
thought
then-
it was AI at first.
and
And
they're all-
I was like, there's no way you could convince
And
them
they're all
to do
doing
that.
like this jumping kind of fighting stance, like it's like Tekken 3 or something.
Yeah.
And then it like rotates through all the Democrat Congress ladies.
Some of them don't look like they know what to do with their hands.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
not.
So I was waiting. There's the guy in the Senate, Stephanie McBride.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it to get to him, and I'd be like, I'll choose him. If I'm going to choose my fighter, smart buddies on that guy. But it is the cringiest video you've ever seen.
Man.
At Chris Hand on Air if you want to watch it.
Definitely recommend checking it out. It's
Chris,
something.
At Chris Hand on Air.
I just retweeted it. I said, are these the, what did JD call them? The cat ladies?
I think these are the cat
childless
ladies.
cat ladies?
I think these
It's
are the cat
them.
ladies. Yep.
Yeah.
It is so embarrassing. And anybody that's working in social media over on the Democrat side should just be fired immediately, even if they had nothing to do with this.
just get rid of them.
just by being adjacent to the people that okayed this, you should also be fired.
Guilt by association.
Yeah. We got a lot more coming up to talk about DOGE. I got some updates on DOGE. Again, criminal referrals for USAID workers and grant recipients. Is that on the way? We'll talk about it. It's 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. It's now 9:30. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Got a crash in Berry Hill. It's on 65 northbound at Armory Drive in the left lane block there. An arrest has been made in the hit and run on Old Hickory Boulevard that killed a man on a scooter Monday night. Channel 4's Jordan James tells us police received a tip about that truck that was involved.
Truck owner told Metro Police that the person responsible for the deadly crash was Carla Armendez. She wanted to surrender. Once in custody, the 25-year-old reportedly admitted to drinking 6 beers and taking drugs prior to the deadly crash. Despite that admission, she claims to have blacked out and had no knowledge of the incident.
Carla Armendez has no driver's license. She's being held on a $100,000 bond.
Hey, Joan.
Yes.
Any
Nope.
word on
Nope.
documentation?
So, no, the local media is not saying anything about it. And you cannot legally look up somebody's immigration status. So I have not been able to learn anything about it. But there is a hint there in that she doesn't have a driver's license. She's 25.
Well, I've heard the Democrats say it's hard for people to get those things.
Yeah.
So maybe. I don't know.
Could be. Mm-hmm. So
Interesting.
There you go. We will look into it. We'll keep looking into it and see if we can find out. Also, Metro Nashville police have found that red Jeep with a black driver's door that was involved in a hit and run weeks ago that seriously injured a local surgeon, Dr. Josh Taylor. Now, that Jeep was found at an apartment complex on McMurray Drive. The license plate had been removed. It's now being studied at the city's crime lab. A Nashville refugee resettlement program says it is on the rocks after the State Department terminated all of its agreements for the program. The Nashville International Center for Empowerment, or NICE, says after being inaugurated, President Trump ordered a 90-day review of the program. This week, it said the review is finished and the program is cut. That's the latest news. Weather's up next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Thank you, Joan. It is 9:32 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hand here for my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling has spring rebate madness happening right now. Listen to these rebates. You get a mini split 17 SEER or heat pump 17 SEER, $800 rebate. A heat pump 15 or 16 SEER, $500 rebate. You need some duct sealing or repair, $300 rebate. And then $50 rebates on any of the tune-ups from Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. And when you join the Beehive Club, well, you get that for only $99, and it comes with 3 annual tune-ups. So then you get your spring tune-up, you get your fall tune-up. You've paid for your Beehive Club membership, and you just scratched the surface on the value of the Beehive membership. You'll get 3 annual tune-ups, 10% off all repairs, front-of-the-line service, a $100 annual accrued replacement credit with a maximum of $1,000, no overtime or holiday fees, and exclusive Beehive member promotions. That's all from Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. 615-775-7833, 615-775-7833, busybeehvac.com. Thirty-six minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. You can find me on Twitter, True Social, and Instagram at Chris Hand on Air. Hit the follow button. I will follow back. The show is brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I don't think I need to tell you why you need a water filtration system. I tend to think You already know. You don't want that stuff in the water. Betterwater.com. We got a lot to get to. I did get a text here that I found interesting. I got a text from 1726. Do you still think Pam Bondi should be fired? I'm not impressed with her. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I am not impressed with Pam Bondi at all. And I'm hearing a lot of rumors and secondhand thoughts and stories from people closer to the admin than me. And I've heard that I'm not the only one that's not impressed with her. I'm just going to go on the record. Now, I've heard some stories where I don't know. I take it with a grain of salt. But I've heard stories where she printed up those binders and didn't tell anybody within the administration. Susie Wiles was not exactly happy about it. Not exactly impressed. I've heard rumors that she's essentially a placeholder, and there will be a circling back to getting a new AG, that she was never the first choice. Trump really did want Gates in there. Again, I don't know. I'm not 100% on this stuff. I'm just letting you know what I'm hearing. So take it with a grain of salt. But that's what I'm hearing. Yeah, I'm not impressed with Pam Bondi. Truckloads of evidence. I'm going to be patient. But I'm not holding my breath on getting Epstein files. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, guys. It feels like Lucy in the football every time with these Epstein files, doesn't it? Every single time. So until we literally have them and there are criminal charges on clients, I'm not going to be impressed.
Yeah, I 100% think that's the meme of the week for sure.
What, Lucy in the football?
Lucy in the football with the Epstein files for sure.
Every time. We'll see what happens. Who knows? Will there be accountability? I think that we need accountability across many different areas in the United States government right now. We need accountability in the military with that Afghanistan withdrawal. We need accountability with the Epstein files. We need accountability with the weaponization of justice. We need accountability with members of Congress essentially making money and profiting off their office. I think there's a lot of things that we need accountability for. I'm not going to hold my breath on the Epstein files. It does feel like they're protecting someone or some country or something, and I don't know. It definitely seems like a third rail topic on who was running the blackmail operation, why they were running the blackmail operation, and now the AG, who was the AG of Florida during the Epstein reign of terror, if you will. She's talking a big game, and I would prefer less Fox News interviews and more information and action, personally. Over at DOGE, we may get some accountability via USAID, dailymail.com, reporting that we could see some criminal charges for grant recipients and workers. A lot of people commenting on that, saying if criminal charges do come, it's going to be because they have a rock-solid paper trail. I hope that happens. Rep. Maxine Waters had some not-so-nice things to say about Elon Musk. This was yesterday.
Turned it over to him. And we don't know everything that Elon Musk has done with his high technology ass. Mm-hmm. We don't know what he's been accused of by some, as it may relate to the election. But we're not going to give up in investigating and finding out.
We're not going to give up in investigating and finding out. I wish they would bring that same energy for the millions upon millions of dollars and billions of dollars fleeing our country, American tax dollars, and going elsewhere for, circumcisions in Mozambique and condoms in Gaza and just all sorts of crazy things. Diversity musicals in Ireland. Although that one sounds funny, at least. We don't know what Elon Musk is doing. Well, we also don't know what the USAID was doing. We don't know what the federal government's been doing. We have lots of questions. Lots of questions. Rand Paul is actually hatching a plan with Elon Musk, pitching him on a plan to slash spending. Axios has this story. Elon Musk, Republican senators are eyeing a package to claw back tens or hundreds of billions of dollars in federal spending after meeting in a closed-door lunch yesterday. Musk been leading the charge on spending cuts from the White House. Some lawmakers want to make his actions more permanent by making them law. Enter Rand Paul, one of our favorites. No decisions have been made yet, but there was some early general support for an idea being pushed by Rand Paul. And you know Paul, he's one of the best when it comes to identifying and exposing pork waste. The annual Festivus report is one of our favorites. That's the Festivus report is where we learned about the steroid injected hamster fight club, which I wish would still continue and be on pay-per-view. Tax it. Let's get some revenue out of that. People always say pot will bring in revenue. I'd be like, have you thought about the prospect of steroid hamster fights on pay-per-view?
I don't know. Just watching him. What would the walkout music be for hamsters that are about to fight?
Oh, dude, Eye of the Tiger.
I mean, yeah, that's a classic, but
Eye of the Tiger. Maybe like a little Biggie Smalls. What's beef?
Yeah, that
you
would
know
be
what I mean?
gold.
Like
That would
I
be
feel like
good.
we could get some good ones going.
That would be good.
I feel like we could get some good ones going. I would pay for that.
It'd be interesting.
I would absolutely pay for Hamster Fight Club.
I feel like that's the same vein almost as dogfighting, though.
Yeah,
People
I guess.
care about hamsters a little bit.
Do people? You should put that on the poll.
People care about hamsters?
Is hamster fighting as bad as dog fighting? Yes or no? I don't. I feel like the overwhelming majority of the audience would be like, whatever. Joan, you got an opinion on that?
That's
when Ken Weaver would say, "I just do the news, boys."
Yes. Okay, that's my line too. Then.
All right. So Rand Paul pitching Elon Musk on a deal to save some money. All right. So this is a rescission package or rescission, RESCISSION rescission package. They pitched it during a lunch on Wednesday. A package would undo federal funding already approved by Congress. Now, here's the fun part. The bill would only require 51 votes to pass the Senate. So you wouldn't need any Democrats. Paul said specific numbers need to be discussed. They weren't yet. But he'd like to see $500 billion clawed back in federal funding. And the word on the street is that Elon Musk is just elated by the idea. Senator Josh Hawley told reporters, I think he didn't realize it could be done at 51. Senator Eric Schmidt, who was also at the lunch, said, I think there's a genuine appetite to continue to work within the legislative branch. Senator Lindsey Graham is backing Rand Paul's plan. And President Trump he's looking for ways to get around everything. And this could be one of those things. And this comes after the U.S. Supreme Court said on Wednesday they ruled against Trump. Thanks, Amy. Ruled against Trump for roughly $1.9 billion in foreign aid via USAID that'll still be dispersed. Now, the ruling and the challenge by the Trump administration was only on the deadline. I think there's still a lot more to be written to that story about the Supreme Court and the USAID decision. The left is going to try and pose this as a massive win, that Supreme Court decision. Okay. Let them enjoy one win momentarily. Don't let it black pill you. Again, I think there's going to be a lot more to be said about that story. Josh Hawley, Rand Paul, Eric Schmidt, Lindsey Graham, Elon Musk, they're looking for other ways to claw back some of this money, and I hope that they do. And, listen, Elon and his team, they're doing the damn thing. They are working as hard as they can. They're at the very least identifying and exposing the fraud and the waste and the abuse at a level we've never seen before. The occurrences of noticing how much waste is happening at the federal level is at an all-time high. Scott Jennings on CNN last night had a message for Elon Musk and DOGE. This is on the Caitlin Collins Show.
Your thoughts on Elon Musk taking this trip to Capitol Hill? Do you think it was the right move?
Absolutely. Good idea. And I'd just give him one more piece of public relations advice, which is at some point they'll have collected enough information and put together enough of a presentation where they could go up to a hearing, have members of Congress ask them questions about it, and really display for the American people the waste, fraud, and abuse that they're finding and what they might want to do about it. I do think members of Congress should be brought in on this. I think this meeting is a good step. Eventually, a public presentation, I think, would help the president and the whole Republican Party with the project of cutting government.
What should that look like? On Capitol Hill or?
Absolutely. A hearing. I think we ought to do it.
You think Elon Musk should testify on Capitol Hill about what he's doing?
I think that Elon and his team and the people that the president designates who have been working on this project, I think they should have no fears, because I do think they are finding things. I think the American people need to know about it. And I think if the president is going to continue to sell a program where we're reducing the size of government, they're going to have more than enough evidence to make the political case.
Yeah, and I'm with it. And Scott says Elon should have no fear. I'll be real. I don't think Elon has any fear. He's talked at length about the death threats he's received. He's had to cancel public appearances because of security concerns, and yet he continues, right? Like he hasn't, even in the face of all that, he hasn't taken a back seat. He is still front and center at the DOGE efforts. I don't think fear is a word that's in his vocabulary currently. And that being said, I do think there are a lot of unhinged lunatics out there, essentially ginned up by the Democrat Party and their response to Elon and DOGE, who wouldn't mind taking a shot at him, who wouldn't mind trying to be the guy that takes out Elon Musk. Yet he continues. Yeah, I don't think fear is a word in his vocabulary. I do think that at the end of the day, Elon just wants to help the country. I think that's where his motivations truly are. And he's been trying to help the country for a while. Astronaut Butch Wilmore, who went on that ISS trip, essentially, this is the Gilligan's Island space visit. It was supposed to be a 4-hour tour, and then they got stuck on an island forever. This is what's happened. They were going to go up for a couple days, and then be at the ISS, and then they've been there since for months. Well, Elon offered to help bring those NASA astronauts back in 2024. This is according to astronaut Butch Wilmore. He also stated that the return was delayed by the Biden administration for political reasons, and he's going on the record and saying this. In an interview with a reporter while he's on the ISS, he said, Elon Musk made the offer to bring us back. What he says is absolutely factual. They were supposed to be in space for 8 days. They've been there for 9 months. Again, this is the space version of Gilligan's Island. It's been an absolute mess.
Our next question is from Aaron Gregg with The Washington Post.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for doing this. So my question relates to Elon Musk has said that he made the offer to bring you guys back earlier and that it was denied. My first question is that true? And if so, what would that have looked like? Was he offering to make another flight, push seats on another flight? Could you give us some background there?
I can only say that Mr. Musk, what he says is absolutely factual. We have no information on that, though, whatsoever. What was offered, what was not offered, who it was offered to, how that process went. That's information that we simply don't have. So I believe him. I don't know all those details, and I don't think any of us really can give you the answer that you would be hoping for.
Everything Elon Musk says is factual. Isn't that amazing? Those poor astronauts, dude. Could you imagine thinking that you're going up there for 8 days and then you're stuck there for 9 months? 9 months. Insane. Just wearing diapers for 9 months. Wild. I love the conspiracy theories on the internet, though. How did they get Santa hats if they were only supposed to be up there for 8 days? I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, it's in the holiday closet on the ISS.
Yeah, they got a little tub with like a little jack-o'-lantern and a Santa hat.
Obviously, it's just they have a holiday closet.
Yeah, obviously.
I feel like that makes sense, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
They have little hearts, little pre-made Valentines ready for them.
Space is totally real.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Allegedly.
All right. Donald Trump sent a message to Hamas. He said, "Shalom." I'll tell you what that means when we return. It's 9:51 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Up ahead, an arrest in the hit and run this week that saw a man being dragged under a truck for nearly 1,000 feet. Also, a Chattanooga teenager picked the wrong place to try to rob a woman. Those stories coming up at 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. It's 57 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm going to get to President Trump's message to Hamas, but real quickly, that story on the hit and run. We commented on that earlier.
Yeah.
And I said, I wonder if the documentation status, the citizenship status of this individual. And she was 25. She didn't have an ID, right?
Yep.
What was her name again?
Her name it's a difficult one. Let's see. Carla Guadalupe Armendariz. Armendariz.
Well, I have a source.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to get a screenshot here momentarily, and I'll confirm further. But I do have a source within law enforcement who has confirmed to me that this individual, Carla Guadalupe Armendariz, has an ICE detainer.
Shocker.
Now, that would lead me to believe that she is an illegal alien. I know, logic and following things.
The lack of a driver's license is your first clue.
Yep, that's the first one.
So now what happens with this woman?
Well, the story will be memory holed by all of Nashville media.
Yeah.
It will not make national news. It will not make mainstream coverage, but hopefully we can page Tom Homan and send her where
Wouldn't
she
that be
needs to
good?
go.
Yeah.
We should have Tom Homan needs a super text line. We could be like, hey, Tom, we got one.
You know, shipping her out of the country isn't enough, though. She viciously, if she is convicted, she would have viciously killed that man, dragging him under her truck because she was high and drank 6 beers before hitting him.
It's insane.
If that were to be true, if it proves to be true.
If it proves to be true, again, I'm waiting. I asked my source for a screenshot to further provide documentation.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep my sources confidential, but I do have a source in law enforcement who has confirmed to me that there is an ICE detainer out on that individual. Wild, but not really, because we kind of assumed, screenshots in. Yep, she's got an ICE detainer. She's got an ICE detainer.
Okay, so that picture has been used in other media outlets. So they also know that she has an ICE detainer, but they won't say it.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
Weird.
Uh-huh.
The mainstream media covering up for illegal aliens. I don't think that's ever happened before.
Oh, no.
No, never. Donald Trump has a message for Hamas. He said, Shalom. I'll tell you the significance when we get back. It's 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning, 10 o'clock now. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Metro Nashville police have arrested a woman who admits to being so high on drugs and beer she doesn't remember hitting and dragging a man on a scooter on Old Hickory Boulevard Monday night. Channel 4's Jordan James tells us that Carla Armendariz had no license and had been driving a borrowed Toyota Tacoma at the time of the crash.
She's now charged with vehicular homicide, driving with no license, along with leaving the scene of a crime. Currently, she's being held in the jail on a $100,000 bond and is set to appear in court on tomorrow.
Now, we have learned just recently from a confidential source that this woman also had an ICE detainer. Somebody had tipped off police that the truck had been parked in a nearby apartment complex. The man on the scooter, we have also learned, was a truck driver from Florida who had stopped for a meal when he was hit. Couple of shootings in Antioch yesterday. A man was found shot to death in a home off Old Hickory Boulevard yesterday. He had been shot in the head. Police have 2 witnesses, but no suspects. And a juvenile was shot, another person injured last evening after a shooting at the intersection of Murfreesboro Pike and Hamilton Church Road. Stray bullets struck the Nashville Fire Station 33, but nobody was hurt. The U.S. House of Representatives has just formally punished Congressman Al Green for his wagging the cane protest during President Trump's address to Congress on Tuesday evening. They voted to censure him.
The yeas are 224. The nays are 198, with 2 answering present. The resolution is adopted.
That's House Speaker Mike Johnson. Their censures don't carry any explicit penalty. GOP lawmakers spent about an hour in the Capitol last night huddling with Elon Musk. Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett on that meeting.
It's very encouraging of the things that he's disclosing and where he's headed with this, because they haven't even really cracked the nut.
Yeah, Musk telling the lawmakers he has just gotten started. Near Chattanooga, a 16-year-old picked the wrong place to try to steal a woman's purse. He grabbed that purse from a woman in the parking lot of a jiu-jitsu gym. Somebody inside saw the whole thing go down, rallied others to help. 8 people ran after that kid and took him down, holding him until police got there.
Oh, my gosh. They're my heroes. I'm telling you, I was overwhelmed when it was over.
The teenager's been charged with robbery. That's the latest news. Weather is up next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I'm Chris Hand. Hey, how are you? You can find me on Twitter, True Social, and Instagram. All of them are the same, at Chris Hand on air. Hit the follow button. I will follow back. If you're watching us over on YouTube, Super Talk TV is live. Hit like and subscribe. We do appreciate it. We have a poll going right now. Is hamster fighting as bad as dog fighting? And you know what I found interesting? If you're looking in the chat, it's the most red pill chat out there.
Yes, sir.
There's one individual by the name of Ken Fleming who is he seems to be pro hamster fighting. To which I would say, Mason, apples and trees. You know.
I mean, he says pro-hamster fighting as they're just looking at each other, nose twitching, not the claws and biting that I was predicting.
I'll tell you what, during the break, Mason said to me, hamsters are bred for fighting.
They love it.
They love it. They love it.
I was just saying I grew up with hamsters, and we'd have to separate them every once in a while.
Fighters, return to your corners. Every round, they would have to separate them.
We want a clean fight. No headshots.
It's not a serious pull, but no. But it's fun.
It's fun.
We like to have fun here. We do cover some serious stuff, though. Donald Trump has a message for Hamas, and this may be one of the most badass True Social posts since Little Rocket Man. I have a button on my desk that works. He said, "Shalom, Hamas," means hello and goodbye. You can choose. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my gosh. You can choose. Hello or goodbye. Whoa. I don't know if I even need to read the rest of the post. You can choose. Do you want to say hello or do you want to say goodbye? He goes on to say, release all of the hostages now, not later, and immediately return all of the dead bodies of the people you murdered, or it is over for you. Over was in all caps. Only sick and twisted people keep bodies, and you are sick and twisted. I am sending Israel everything it needs to finish the job. Not a single Hamas member will be safe if you don't do as I say. I have just met with your former hostages whose lives you have destroyed. This is your last warning. For the leadership, now is the time to leave Gaza while you still have a chance. Also, to the people of Gaza, a beautiful future awaits, but not if you hold hostages. If you do, you are dead. Make a smart decision. Release the hostages now, or there will be hell to pay later. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America. I mean, that's a fire post. He's not holding back. And if I was these individuals in Hamas, I would take it very seriously. Issuing an ultimatum. Shalom. It means hello or goodbye. You choose. Release all of the hostages or you're dead. I mean, this happened yesterday afternoon. And this was after he met with Israeli hostages who had been held captive by Hamas. And, we got a lot of hostages still. Too many. Trump met with several of them. Hamas has been unwilling to release they've unwillingly released a small number of hostages at a time in exchange for hundreds upon hundreds of Palestinians. They're criminals and they're terrorists who have been held in Israeli prisons. Recently, Hamas has taken to releasing not living persons, but the remains, the bodies of hostages who they murdered in captivity. This includes the the body of a woman and her two babies who were brutally killed shortly after being taken from their home. Peter Doocy, yesterday in the White House press briefing, questioned why the U.S. is negotiating with Hamas.
If the U.S. has a longstanding policy that we do not negotiate with terrorists, then why is the U.S. now negotiating directly and for the first time ever with Hamas?
Well, when it comes to the negotiations that you're referring to, first of all, the special envoy who's engaged in those negotiations does have the authority to talk to anyone. Israel was consulted on this matter. And look, dialogue and talking to people around the world to do what's in the best interest of the American people is something that the president has proven is what he believes is good faith effort to do what's right for the American people.
Is it just about the hostages? Or are they also talking about the president's plan to take over Gaza?
These are ongoing talks and discussions. I am not going to detail them here. There are American lives at stake. I would defer you to the Department of State for further details, but I'm not going to get into those talks here at this podium.
We know that some officials...
She's not going to get into it. Doocy has some good questions, serious questions. But, where we stand right now, I think that there is some room for negotiating. You want to get those people back. You got to figure out a peaceful solution at a certain level. There are civilians trapped in the middle of this that their lives have been absolutely turned upside down, to say the least. There needs to be some negotiating. I agree with that. If you want them home. You could go full scorched earth. You may never see them again. And if there are hostages that are still alive, I mean, every effort should be made to bring them home. We'll keep you updated on this as more becomes available. But this administration is being very intentional, very serious when it comes to, terrorism and these hostages. Kash Patel yesterday confirmed that an Abbey Gate terrorist has been extradited to the U.S. I mean, that's unbelievable. So this is one of the terrorists allegedly responsible for the murder of 13 American service members, Abbey Gate, Afghanistan withdrawal under the Biden administration. It was chaotic. But Kash Patel posted on X, as President Trump announced, I can report the FBI, DOJ, and CIA have extradited one of the terrorists responsible for the murder of 13 American soldiers at Abbey Gate during the disastrous Afghanistan withdrawal. One step closer to justice for these American heroes and their families. It's about damn time that we have some accountability. I think we need accountability for military leadership as well. And this individual, who they just got extradited to the U.S., the alleged Abbey Gate plotter, well, he was released from prison after Biden abandoned Bagram and 2 weeks before the bombing. The affidavit was released yesterday, and it revealed that the architect of the 2021 suicide bombing at Abbey Gate that killed 13 American service members in Afghanistan, he was released from prison 2 weeks before the attack, which coincides with when thousands of prisoners were released from the Bagram Air Base after the Biden administration abandoned it. You can directly link the death of U.S. soldiers to Joe Biden and the disastrous withdrawal in Afghanistan. The affidavit was released by the Trump Department of Justice, saying that Mohammed Sharifullah was in prison in Afghanistan from approximately 2019 until approximately 2 weeks before the attack at Hamid Karzai International Airport, Abbey Gate. The affidavit did not say which prison he was released from. However, it is widely known that around the time of his release, 2 weeks before the bombing, Taliban fighters took over a U.S. abandoned base by the Biden administration and freed thousands of prisoners. This is at the feet of Joe Biden, and the Trump administration is bringing accountability back into the fold. Again, accountability is the name of the game, and I want accountability on all sides. Accountability for the terrorists who allowed this to happen, and accountability for the military leadership that allowed this to happen as well. Again, we haven't seen that at all, and we're begging for it. Just some accountability, honestly. Any accountability would be great. So we'll keep you posted as we learn more about the Abbey Gate mastermind, and we'll give you all the latest here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. On the way at 10:35, we're going to be talking with Monica Page. She's a White House press reporter for Turning Point USA. She was in the room yesterday during the White House press briefing. She's got a lot of inside info on everything that's going on in the White House, including what may happen today when executive orders are signed around 2 o'clock Eastern. A lot of people are saying that executive order could be the one that is going to dismantle the Department of Education. Stay tuned for that. It's going to be an awesome interview. Real quick, Eric in Nashville hanging on the line. What's up, Eric?
Hey, Chris. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. I just got off work. I told Mason his power outage on Dixon Road, but I had a great time the other night meeting all you guys, and it was good to see some people who look like me there also, if you know what I mean. And I wonder how many people in your building who look like me also think of us too also, but can't say it because where they work at, if you know what I mean, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we have a very diverse audience, but the one thing that we all have in common is we love this country, and we love the great state of Tennessee. We love freedom. We love capitalism. We love the Constitution, and I think that's the best part about when we all get together. It's just really like-minded individuals who kind of see the world through the same lens.
I can't wait till we do it again. For whatever reason, I hate the weather's bad, so hopefully more people show up next time.
Yeah, man. Hey, next time's going to be a fun time. We'll keep you posted on when the next event is, Eric, and I was happy to see you as well, man.
All right, have a great day, man. Talk to you later.
All right, brother. Late. Appreciate it. That's Eric in Nashville. Good guy. There were some tariff updates yesterday at the White House press briefing, and listen, the tariffs. I'm here for it.
The president does love tariffs. He said it's one of his favorite words of the English dictionary, and he believes in tariffs because they'll ultimately make America rich again. They're going to raise revenue. They're going to help us pay down our debt. Most importantly, they're going to bring American jobs here back home. So I think for folks on Wall Street who may be concerned, look at what this president did for you in his first term. Wall Street boomed. Stock market boomed. The president expects that to happen again. But most importantly, Main Street is going to boom. And that's why the president has this whole of government economic approach, which includes tax cuts, tariffs, regulation cuts, and an energy industry that will bring down costs for American consumers.
President loves tariffs. It's his favorite word. It's the best word in the English language, and who wouldn't like that word? The governor of Canada, not a huge fan. Trump spoke with Trudeau yesterday. They were on the phone, and he said, "Please, Mr. President, forgive us. We know not what we do." Have you seen the videos online of Canadian alcohol stores taking American whiskey off the shelves? And it's like you already paid for that. You're just not going to make any money on it. No. Oh, okay. My friend Hayden Cunningham wrote this story over at the Post Millennial. President Donald Trump took to Truth Social to mock Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Did you see this post? It was unbelievable. Justin Trudeau of Canada called me to ask what could be done about tariffs. I told him that many people have died from fentanyl that came through the borders of Canada and Mexico, and nothing has convinced me that it has stopped. He said that it's gotten better, but I said that's not good enough. The call ended in a somewhat friendly manner. He was unable to tell me when the Canadian election is taking place, which made me curious. Like, what's going on here? I then realized he's trying to use this issue to stay in power. Good luck, Justin. Hilarious. I think we've all wondered what's going on here with Justin Trudeau. Listen, the tariffs do need to happen. Howard Lutnick was talking about this on Fox News, and he delivered a message to Canada and Mexico in regards to the tariffs.
You are our greatest trading partners, Canada and Mexico. Right? If we are so important to you, why is the border wide open? Why do we have to build a wall? Why aren't you building a wall? Why aren't you respecting America? Why do you think it's okay to disrespect America? So what they did is they disrespected America. They had caravans coming in from Mexico. They had visas just flying off the shelf from Canada, and every criminal in the world and terrorist coming in through Canada. And the president said, I've had enough. You guys are totally disrespectful, and I'm going to teach you a bit of respect. Mm-hmm. So he says, tariffs. Then they say, hold on. We'll start to respect you. And they start doing work. Mm-hmm. Then Mexico calls and says, I'll put 10,000 troops on the border. And the Canadians say, I'll put 10,000 troops on the border. And he said, if you're going to stop it, I'll give you 30 days to stop it. Mm-hmm. Show me what you can do for 30 days. But does that sound a foot off the gas? That sounds like a foot on the chest.
Foot's on the chest, and it doesn't sound like Donald Trump is going to be removing the foot from the chest. Now, a lot of people say, oh, hey, fentanyl in Canada is not a big deal. Carolyn Levitt disagrees, and she lays it out in a way that anybody can understand it, unless maybe you're a progressive, radical, liberal Democrat. I'll play you that clip when we get back. It's 10:20 on Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. Hey, it's Chris Hand here for my friends at the Glock Store. We love the guys at the Glock Store, and we are so lucky that they have their showroom here in Nashville. Now, if you're listening online or on X or on YouTube, these guys are online as well, so you can always go to Glockstore.com and find some of these amazing custom and performance parts for your Glock handgun. Glock is the most popular handgun in America for a reason, and it's because of the performance parts. It's because of the customization. And the Glock Store has everything. Competition triggers, night sights, extended controls, magwells, red dot optics. There's too many upgrades to list. Like, I'd be spending the whole commercial doing that. But rest assured, if it's for a Glock, the Glock Store carries it. Now, you can get it online at Glockstore.com, or you can head over to the showroom right here in Nashville and get it in store. And the best part is, if you're in the store in Nashville, there's a gunsmith on duty always. And whatever parts you purchase to customize or enhance your Glock will be installed for you for free while you wait. That's the Glock store promise. There's a lot of reasons to like the Glock store. Free parts installation is just one of them. I know you'll find a lot to like about the Glock store. It's minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere, and you can always shop online, glockstore.com.
Did you know you're overpaying for your health and wellness products?
With over 20 company-owned brands offering its members vitamins, supplements, wellness, and skincare products, you're able to save up to 70% off retail.
Members Nutrition can't change your life, but we can change the way you live.
So wasted, she blacked out. That's what one woman told police happened to her before a hit and run. And a horrible accident during a U.S. training mission overseas. Those stories and more coming up at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. She is one of the absolute best. My name is Chris Hand. I'm the host of the show. Brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You understand why you need the water filter, right?
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Betterwater.com. If you're watching the show over on YouTube, please hit like and subscribe. It helps feed the kids. We want to get them into a nice summer camp. Maybe get them some new shoes. I said, guys, you have to deal with this until we get the likes up. Tough times make strong men. That's what I said.
If they don't step it up, you're going to be in hamster fights.
Listen. We'll figure out a side hustle. So we've had a lot of discussion on the northern border. Why is Canada being pulled into this fentanyl talk? You know, only 1% of the fentanyl is coming in from Canada, and it's like, yeah, but you do understand what 1% of the fentanyl could do, right? Like. This isn't like your grandma's heroin. This stuff is nuts. What could 1% of the fentanyl do? Well, Carolyn Levitt laid it out yesterday afternoon at the White House press briefing. Like 1% of fentanyl could kill a lot of people with the fentanyl that we have coming in this country.
Well, the president did just put out a statement on his call with the governor, Justin Trudeau, as he calls him, of Canada. And he said that he was not pleased, as you said. He said it's not good enough. He told Prime Minister Justin Trudeau that directly. The call ended in a somewhat friendly manner, as the president said, but he's not going to stop standing up for the American people. And to answer your question directly when it comes to fentanyl, for the last 4 years, unfortunately, our neighbors to the north and the south, Canada and Mexico respectively, have allowed America to be a dumping ground, not just for illegal aliens, but for illegal, poisonous, deadly fentanyl, which is now the #1 killer of young people in this country aged 18 to 34. Through the northern border in Canada, in last fiscal year alone, there was enough fentanyl seized to kill 4.8 billion people. And
That's billion with a B. Last fiscal year alone, again, the last fiscal year alone, enough fentanyl was seized at the Canadian border to kill 4.1 billion people with a B. They say, oh, that's not a big deal. I feel like that's a big deal. Don't you feel like that's a big deal? I feel like, oh, it's not a lot of fentanyl. Okay, how much fentanyl is enough fentanyl? Right? Like what's the threshold that we're going to be okay with on fentanyl coming through the Canadian border? I would set the bar at 0. I think that's where the bar should be, personally. And if they don't want to step up enforcement, they don't want to step up and help, then tariff them. But why not? See who breaks first. I guarantee you it's not going to be Donald Trump.
Young people in this country aged 18 to 34. Through the northern border in Canada, in last fiscal year alone, there was enough fentanyl seized to kill 4.8 billion people. And that number is up 2,050% from 2023, the year before. So there's been more than a 2,000% increase in illegal fentanyl seizure at the northern border. Why? Because Canada is allowing that fentanyl to come to the United States. The president sees these numbers. He thinks about the lives that are lost. And everybody in this room, I'm sure, everybody watching at home, everybody across the country knows someone in our lives who has been killed at the hands of this deadly poison. There needs to be repercussions for that. The president feels very strongly about it.
Now, listen, I'm here for it. I say often, and it sucks, man. But where I grew up in Massachusetts, it's opioid epidemic bigly, and we got a call. This was last week. Another friend of mine and I say friend, like we had, we went our separate ways many years ago. But it seems like all the guys that I went to high school with, they end up losing their lives at the hands of this stuff, and it sucks. And now, like, I know my friend Dave made his own choices, and he made his own mistakes. But like I think about his mom; she didn't make any of those choices, And while there's always that fear that this could happen, it's like, but there's always that hope that second chance could come. And what the fentanyl is doing is it's eliminating that second chance from so many Americans. Young Americans. This is absolutely just ravishing an entire generation of Americans. And I think we need to take it serious, whether it's on the southern border or on the northern border. Again, as Carolyn Levitt said, oh, it's not a big deal in Canada, people say. Okay, last fiscal year, enough fentanyl came through the Canadian border to kill 4.1 billion people, and it's up over 2,000% from the fiscal year beforehand. So, yeah, I tend to think that's serious. I do. It's 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. When we get back, we're going to check in with a woman who was in the room yesterday during that White House press briefing. Friend of the show, White House reporter for Turning Point USA, Monica Page, joins the show next on Super Talk.
It's 10:30. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. An arrest has been made in the hit and run on Old Hickory Boulevard that killed a man on his scooter Monday. Channel 4's Jordan James says police received a tip about that truck involved.
The truck owner told Metro Police that the person responsible for the deadly crash was Carla Armendez. She wanted to surrender. Once in custody, the 25-year-old reportedly admitted to drinking 6 beers and taking drugs prior to the deadly crash. Despite that admission, she claims to have blacked out and had no knowledge of the incident.
That woman is 25 years old. She has no driver's license. She's being held on $100,000 bond. Something went wrong during a joint military exercise between the U.S. and South Korea today when a couple of fighter jets accidentally dropped 8 bombs on a civilian neighborhood outside of Seoul. Here's ABC's Britt Clement.
Security footage aired on local TV shows the moment leading up to the incident, with a pickup truck driving along a street before the area is consumed by a large blast. Local residents reported hearing a loud roar followed by an explosion. Photographs from the scene showing a house destroyed by the impact, broken windows, and a building covered with debris.
The fierce winds that blasted across Texas earlier this week have finally died down, but not before leaving a mysterious calling card in a tiny town outside of Dallas.
On the southern border, U.S. officials use surveillance equipment attached to giant balloons called aerostats to keep tabs on people and aircraft coming into the country. This week, one of those 200-foot-long aerostats came loose from its tether on South Padre Island and blew away.
All the neighbors were over there. Nobody knew what it was.
Clay Hinton lives in Quinlan, Texas, 600 miles from South Padre. Federal officials came and collected the giant sheet of fabric that used to be an aerostat. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
That is the latest news. We've got weather up next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
For many of us, generators are becoming a must-have household appliance. From unpredictable weather to surprise outages, it's better to be safe than sorry. Generator Supercenter of Nashville offers fast and easy installations with 24/7 service and monitoring to all brands of generators and expert repairs done right. Our mission is to make owning a backup generator simple and easy. Visit your local store today or check us out online. Generator Supercenter of Nashville. We serve all Middle Tennessee.
37 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. If you're watching the show over on YouTube, hit like and subscribe. We do appreciate it. It helps feed my kids. Got a good friend over in Washington, D.C. She is a White House reporter for Turning Point. Monica Page is on the line. What's up, Monica?
Hey, Chris, thanks so much for having me. I'm here right now as we speak at the White House.
Thanks for joining the show. I mean, you guys have a busy day today. Like, we got some executive orders that are going to be signed. A lot of rumors about what the executive order could be. What are you hearing?
I'm hearing, every day is so busy here at the White House. What a stark contrast to the previous administration. But yeah, I mean, we're hearing it could potentially be a dismantling of the Board of Education. There are rumors that have been debunked from the press secretary about somehow displacing or deporting some of the Ukrainian refugees that came here under the Biden administration. That's been fake news. Reuters has been pushing a fake story about that. So that's just to clear the air. It's not regarding any sort of Ukrainian deportations, but it could be Board of Education. That could come either today or at a later date.
Color me shocked that Reuters is pushing fake news.
Yeah, right.
What's the biggest story that's happening right now in D.C. that the mainstream media isn't covering? Like what's something that's happening there? I mean, you're in the weeds on a lot of this stuff. What do you think is the biggest story that nobody's really paying attention to?
Well, what's interesting is that during President Trump's joint address to Congress this week, we heard a couple of things that I think are really going under the radar. Giving thousands of acres of land in remembrance of Jocelyn Nungaray. I think that's something that's going under the radar. I think also President Trump announcing that he wants to create a shipbuilding department here at the White House. I think that's also a story that's going under the radar. I'm curious to see if he will kind of elaborate on something like that. I know I got a question in yesterday into the press briefing room regarding some of those Democrat, or all of the Democrat women actually, during the joint session, not standing and applauding or supporting keeping men out of women's sports. I think that's something that's really not getting as much traction either. I think that there should be more fallout regarding their actions during that joint session. So those are just a few of many things that President Trump is doing here at the White House that really needs to be reported on a little bit more.
Does the liberal media take it serious how against men and women's sports the American people are? Or do they have their head in the sands as much as our elected Democrats that are in Congress and the Senate?
It's really hard, Chris, to understand the logic behind why they would want men and women's sports, given the fact that Peyton McNabb, a volleyball player back in high school, almost lost her life due to the fact that a male spiked a volleyball at her head and left her paralyzed. I mean, these are just, you can't say that you support women, but also don't support women who are hurt due to the fact that a man on the opposing team almost killed this girl. I mean, there's so many hypocritical messaging that the Democrats do that I just feel it's just so hard to wrap my head around, because thankfully we have logic on our side, facts on our side. But, as far as these left-leaning Congress people and in the liberal media as well, this fight is going to be far from over.
Yeah, Democrats and logic is like oil and water. What do you think the reason is that the mainstream media hasn't covered some of those Senate Democrat videos that have been posted on social media? Are they willfully ignoring the fact that there's no coherent social media strategy on the left, or are they just as embarrassed as they should be?
I hope they're embarrassed, because those videos are so cringy. But I will say this, Chris. After yesterday's press briefing, I was approached by a so-called journalist over at the Washington Post who came up to me asking me what outlet that I'm with. So I just want your listeners to understand that I think that given the fact that they can't poorly report on this administration, because this administration is actively making this country great again, they're going to start going after us. They're going to start going after journalists and reporters who are not on the same side of the aisle as them. So I'm definitely going to keep my eye out for any sort of articles that come out about any of us who are standing for the truth. I know The Guardian posted a little snippet of myself and a couple of other conservative-leaning reporters trying to make us out to be bad. So this is what they're going to go for. They're going to start grasping at straws. They're going to start going after voices that they don't agree with and trying to make us look bad. But I urge your listeners to you don't believe the lies and the mainstream media propaganda that's been coming out.
Yeah, I mean, the dynamics have definitely changed, allowing more conservative voices into the room. I'd say even more independent voices as well. Has the old guard gotten used to you guys yet? The last time we talked, we mentioned that the mainstream media, the old people in the room, they weren't too fond of y'all.
Yeah, I don't think they'll ever get used to it. I think they're going to keep fighting until things are staying the same for them, and that if that means they get to lead the charge in the press briefing room, then by all means. But I will say that the dynamic it's very off-putting for them. They're not used to this. There has been a sense of elitism that was bred under the Biden administration where they feel like they are owed something. They are owed, and they have a sense of entitlement. So it's definitely going to be an interesting next couple of months. And I don't want to get ahead of the press secretary, but I think around June, she's going to have another shakeup in the press briefing room to announce. And that's going to, I think, really turn some heads and maybe make some people a little bit angrier. But I'll let her speak to it. I don't want to get ahead of it. But
come on. I wish you would get ahead of it, Monica. Let's break some news.
There's still a lot more. There's still a lot more to be done in that briefing room. And all I'm going to say is stay tuned. It's going to go by quick. June's going to be here tomorrow, given the fact that all this White House is doing so much.
Yeah, I love that they're still not fond of you guys, and it's like they're just all on the left or just seem to be reality deniers. Again, since the last time we talked, we saw Joy Reid get canned. We saw yesterday that ABC's 538 polling is now shut down and defunct. Going to learn that the narrative pushing and the fact hiding isn't really working for them.
It's so funny because we don't know what the future is going to be for these networks, and they're all still here. They do not look happy about covering this White House, but we show up every single day with a smile on our faces, knowing that we are doing the due diligence for the American people. I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, given that nobody trusts the mainstream media anymore, more people are feeling hopeful after President Trump's joint session speech than ever before. It's definitely going to be an interesting next 4 years, really, because if you think about it, we're less than 3 months out. I mean, just imagine what's going to happen over the next 4 years. Where are these media outlets going to go? I mean, I can see a heavy turnover into that press briefing room. I can definitely see that that's going to be coming.
It's wild that you say that they're not exactly excited about covering this White House because before the election happened, I was always silver lining guy, like, okay, well, if we lose, from a media perspective, we have a villain. From a turning point perspective, we have a fundraising initiative. There's some natural bonuses to being not in power, right? They don't see that at all. They just don't want to do it.
I just don't think they want to have a work ethic anymore. I think they like starting their days at 11 a.m. and leaving by 3 p.m. I think they like that. And honestly, I think it's a lot harder for them to cover, a more Democrat administration, especially under Joe Biden, because it was hard to work with them. I mean, there was no messaging coming out of the White House. Nothing was happening. There was nothing on the schedule. So, I mean, on one hand, you got to make it look like there's a lot happening under that administration. On the other hand, you're going to bed at 6 p.m. But this administration, there's always something happening. There's always something positive to report on. But leave it to them to always find something negative. But seriously, this is the most that I've ever worked, I think, in my life. And I'm very excited about it because it's all positive. And of course, none of the negative press ever sticks because the White House is always moving on to the next best thing. Yep. So there's always something to cover, and I'm definitely interested to see what's going to happen.
What is the feeling from the administration, speaking of always something happening? Yesterday, the Supreme Court decision coming down on USAID. How does the administration feel about that? Are they kind of just taking it on the chin and moving forward with the next issue on the agenda? Or how are they planning to fight back? What have you heard?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how they plan on fighting back, but I was up in the upper press area at the White House yesterday talking to Caroline's assistant and some of the other press comms people, and there's a lot of work to be done. I think they're focused on getting these big wins. I think they're focused on providing more transparency to the people, whether that's showing where all of our money has been going thanks to DOGE, and I think that this is just something that they are going to be continuing on. And as far as legal battles in the foreseeable future, especially when it comes to these states like Maine who want to push back on President Trump's agenda in schools, I think, they're very much focused on putting up the fight and doing what's best for the American people and for children. So I think this administration is going to keep being transparent, going to keep fighting back, and it's definitely going to be one to watch for sure.
And did I hear correctly that a lawsuit is coming down from the Department of Education against Maine in regards to federal funding for them flouting that executive order?
I think that that's something that they're looking into. I think Maine is definitely looking to the governor of Maine looking to see President Trump in court. I think she's very much pushing back on President Trump's mandate to make the schools more common sense again. And I think this is going to be a pattern that we will see over the next 4 years. I think the Democrats, they want to stick it to Trump just for the principle of it. It's definitely not going to be a good look for them, because at the end of the day, President Trump has all the cards on his side.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Now, you mentioned transparency a second ago. I feel like one story that the administration would want to get away from is the Epstein files. What have you been hearing about how that was laid out, what the release was like, giving binders to the influencers? What's the latest on that? I mean, I'm hearing rumors that Bondi didn't get it cleared to even hand out the binders. That was like a bit of a surprise. All sorts of rumors. What are you hearing on the ground?
I will say, from my own personal opinion, what a mess that was that day and those couple of days that had happened. I think who's at fault is New York State. It was their responsibility to hand over every single file, and given how messy the situation was, it did not get off to a good start. It got off to the wrong foot. Pam Bondi, it just did not look good for her. But as far as getting influencer access first, I think it was a wrong decision. I think what should have been done was Pam Bondi held a press briefing, a televised press briefing where everyone can watch and say, okay, here's what's going on. If you want more information, go to this website. It should not have been released, because just imagine if the shoe were on the other foot. If Joe Biden's attorney general allowed the influencers like Harry Sisson or whoever else to get access to declassified information first, that would be something else, especially for conservatives. So I just think it wasn't a good look. Got off to a poor start, and I think I'm hoping that there's more transparency regarding the Epstein files. I don't know if we're going to get that necessarily anytime soon, but still, I think not a good look to start out, especially for Pam Bondi. And a lot of people are bringing to the attention that Pam Bondi was going on Fox News a lot, and that's also not a good look. So, I mean, I don't know how President Trump is feeling regarding the situation. I'm interested to see if anybody asks that in the upcoming press briefing conferences. So we'll definitely see, but my opinion, not a good look, not a good start.
Monica Page, White House press reporter for Turning Point USA. Monica, how can we keep up with you and all the goings-on at the White House?
Thank you so much, Chris. You can follow me on X at Monica Page TV. There's a lot of people pretending to be me, so just look for the verified account. I've got a lot of bots on there. And I will say, Chris, there is a Marine standing outside of the Oval Office as we speak, which means the president is in there working hard as always.
Yeah, I mean, the guy doesn't stop working. It's been unbelievable.
Nope.
$1.7 trillion in investments in his first month in office. It's unreal what this guy's been able to do.
Yep. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me, Chris. And I'm definitely looking forward to coming back on.
Yes, anytime. We got to figure out a regular time to get you on. That's Monica Page down at the White House. We appreciate you as always, Monica. It is 10:50 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. She wasn't a fan of Pam Bondi stuff either. I didn't want to push too hard. I kind of did, but I wanted to be respectful at the same time. That thing's a mess. It's a mess. The rumors I'm hearing is that Susie Wiles wasn't up to speed on the binders. It was a bit of a surprise. People were upset, unhappy that it went that way. I'm hearing that Pam Bondi may just be a placeholder. She wasn't the original choice for AG. It's a crazy story. We'll keep you posted as we learn more. It's 10:51 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Chris Hand here for my friends at United Structural Systems. When it comes to large home repairs, you do what we all do as homeowners. We see something and then we're like, I didn't see that. I didn't see it. I didn't see it. No, don't do that. that's going to make your problem worse. It's not going to go away. And that's so true when it comes to foundation repair or waterproofing. It could be something big that needs to be fixed. It could be a small problem that will lead to something bigger. It could be nothing. But the bottom line is you need an expert. You want somebody that's going to tell you the truth, and USS is going to send you that expert. They're not going to send a sales guy to your house looking to upsell you on the next big thing. They have no issue telling you if it's nothing, but you want somebody that knows what they're doing. And USS, they've been doing it for a long time, since 1994. They have 30,000 satisfied customers. If you don't get the waterproofing issue fixed, it's going to lead to nastier stuff down the road. We're talking mold, wood rot. That could lead to foundation issues. Get it fixed today. We're heading into that rainy season, and if you have waterproofing issues, you have a resource. It's United Structural Systems. Give them a call today. Keeping homes dry and stable since 1994. 615-488-7855. 615-488-7855. Online at USSTN.com.
All right, drivers, we've got rolling roadblocks. The left lane is closed, 24 eastbound, just past Sam Ridley Parkway. This is for some road work. Looks like the stop and go starts at Waldron Road. Then also 24 westbound at Old Hickory Boulevard. That is in Laverne in Rutherford County. And it looks like Mexico has satisfied President Trump's desires on the border. So he is granting another month pause on tariffs on Mexico. We'll tell you about that coming up at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
And then he said, good luck, Justin.
Yeah.
It's 10:58 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hand. Ken Weaver in the newsroom. Mason Fleming producing. The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Shout out again to our friend Monica Page, White House reporter. She's awesome. Good lady. Smart. Likes the truth. We're a fan. I want to set up something weekly with her.
Yes.
That'd be cool.
We should. Like a White House Wednesday.
We need as many people who are there on a daily basis as possible.
100%, because then you can get the real story, no filter.
That's right. You get all sides.
100%. I'd like some Democrats too. I want more Democrats to call in. We had Matt from Smyrna, who's now Matt from Shelbyville.
Oh yeah, he moved.
He called in. He called in yesterday.
Doesn't feel the same.
It doesn't flow the same.
Nah.
We may
still
still
call him his honorary Smyrna.
Yeah, and I don't think Shelbyville hears his opinions and they go,
Not for us.
should stay in Smyrna. That's what they say. I don't blame them. I get it. Shelbyville's like, we're full. We're full. Nobody asked. Listen, I want all kinds of voices on this show. Monica Page is definitely a very important voice. I think that reaching across the aisle is important. Quite a few people do. In fact, remember Gavin Newsom is starting the Gavcast, the Gavin Newsom podcast. Remember that?
I saw that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he had his first guest.
Oh.
You know who his first guest was?
A pile of rocks.
No.
It was Charlie Kirk, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Charlie Kirk.
That's big.
Charlie Kirk. Now, Gavin Newsom said that his son was a fan of Charlie Kirk. And he said, is he here today? He said, no, he's got school. And Charlie said, dude, you shut down schools for 2 years. What's one day going to do? I'll bring you that, plus more highlights when we return. It's 11 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Again, drivers, looks like we have some road construction that is going to slow you down on 24. Let's check that again. That's going to be 24 eastbound, just past Sam Ridley Parkway in Smyrna. You've got the left lane closed for some road work there. That's backed up all the way to Waldron Road. Then in Laverne, you've got a crash on the right shoulder. That's 24 westbound at Old Hickory Boulevard. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. President Trump just announcing on Truth Social he is granting a 1-month pause on tariffs on Mexico's products, those being products under the free trade deal that Trump brokered during his first term that replaced NAFTA. This is what Trump posted on Truth Social. After speaking with President Claudia Sheinbaum of Mexico, I have agreed that Mexico will not be required to pay tariffs on anything that falls under the USMCA agreement. This agreement is until April 2nd. Trump posts, I did this as an accommodation and out of respect for President Sheinbaum. He says our relationship has been a very good one, and we are working hard together on the border, both in terms of stopping illegal aliens from entering the United States and likewise stopping fentanyl. Thank you to President Sheinbaum for your hard work and cooperation. Meanwhile, the Republican-led House has voted to censure Texas Democrat Al Green after he disrupted President Trump's address to Congress.
24. The nays are 198, with 2 answering present. The resolution is adopted.
So get this, all Republicans voting in favor, 10 Democrats joining them, but not Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, who reporters talked to in the parking lot, bringing up Georgia's Marjorie Taylor Greene at the last State of the Union.
We know that we've seen Marjorie yell at Joe Biden. There was no outrage. None. So there shouldn't be any outrage today.
Greene is the 5th member of Congress to be censured this decade. ABC News reporting President Trump preparing an executive order aimed at ending the Department of Education today. That is set for 2 o'clock Eastern time. We'll be watching that for you. Here in Nashville, the homeless encampments that you see popping up, subject of some new legislation being considered by state lawmakers. The bill would see TDOT clearing the camps and helping the homeless find transitional housing. TDOT would be required to post a notice 72 hours before clearing a camp. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Five minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I was looking over at the YouTube chat, watching you guys. Everybody seemed to like Monica Page. Most red pill chat is over on Super Talk TV on YouTube. Hit like and subscribe while you're there. You know, I was just looking at the other guys there. Dan got some good likes this morning.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, Riker's going to be able to go to summer camp. I'm just saying. Do you not want my kids to go to summer camp? Hit like and subscribe.
Little Kennedy needs to be able to go to summer camp.
It's up to you guys. Hit like and subscribe on Facebook.
I don't know. I'm just saying next time Kennedy comes on
YouTube. I say Facebook.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Next time Kennedy comes on the show, I'm just saying she's going to be a little jaded towards you guys.
She's going to be calling everybody out.
Yeah. I won't hold it against her either.
I'm going to say, listen, we couldn't do summer camp this time. We didn't get enough likes on YouTube, but you can come into work with me for a day or two. We'll skirt the child labor laws. All the bread and water you can eat.
Just conversation.
Hit like and subscribe on YouTube. We do appreciate it. If you're watching us on X, we appreciate you over there as well. Hit repost and then hit follow on @ChrisHand_on_air. That's my handle on Twitter, True Social, and X. We were talking earlier. You know, I like different voices. I like different opinions. If you disagree with me, you always go to the front of the line. This is, listen, it's your show, not mine. And I don't want to be stuck in an echo chamber. That being said, I heard Gavin Newsom also didn't want to be stuck in an echo chamber, and he's launching a podcast. And I thought, could you just run California? And he said no. I said, all right, well, it's probably better off if he's just not doing anything, right?
Yeah, give him a little distraction so more important people can focus on California for him.
So he said, I'm launching the Gavcast, which is what
the official title?
No, but that's what I'm going with.
I like that much better.
I think Gavcast it actually sounds cool. Democrats and social media, they don't know what they're doing. So
no,
they didn't come up with a cool name. I think that what they call it, like the Gavin Newsom experience or something like that.
Oh yeah, because they lost Joe Rogan apparently.
Yeah, it's the Gavin Newsom experience.
So
I thought that this was going to be like a down the road kind of idea, but apparently this already started.
First episode's
out, and he decided to invite Charlie Kirk on.
Interesting.
Which, I mean, okay, Charlie's awesome. Make no mistake. I am a fan of Charlie Kirk, and you're not going to hear me saying anything negative about Charlie Kirk. I don't know why Gavin Newsom would want Charlie Kirk on.
Yeah.
Charlie does this in his sleep. Charlie can own a liberal while he is in deep REM sleep. Guaranteed. So why you would want Charlie on as your first guest? I don't know. Maybe, I think the views on this are actually going to be pretty good because of Charlie. He's got a massive audience, but he had Charlie Kirk on. And Gavin Newsom admitted to Charlie Kirk that his son is a Charlie Kirk fan.
Last night, trying to put my son to bed, he's like, no, Dad, what time? What time's Charlie going to be here? What time? And I'm like, dude, you're in school tomorrow. He's 13. He's like, no. This morning, wakes up at 6 something. He's like, I'm coming. I'm like, he literally would not leave the house.
Did you let him take off school?
No, he did. Of course not. He's not here for a good reason. But the point is,
you canceled school for 2 years. One day.
The point is,
what a great
What, you canceled school for 2 years. What's the big deal? Yeah, you did, didn't you? You shut down small businesses and you went to your own friends' restaurants without a mask. You must wear your mask unless you're Gavin Newsom and you're at the French Laundry. Yeah, you shut down school for 2 years. What's one day? Yeah, some dad. What a great dad.
Hey, when you're locked up, you miss your favorite meal sometimes. You just got to go.
I would have let my kids skip school to meet Charlie.
That would have been great.
Is the point, which is you are making a damn dent.
Thank you. I'm kidding.
When you go to these college campuses, I love watching your TikTok, which is next level. And clearly, that's expressed by my 13-year-old son.
I want to meet this guy.
Yeah, I actually.
He's coming to a Turning Point event this summer, Tampa, Florida, Student Action Summit.
I actually am by the way, if
you should be concerned.
But so let me say, here is why I'm concerned, because you have expressed that I should be concerned as a Democrat.
Yeah, I think Democrats should be concerned. You see, conservatives have become the cool counterculture in America, and that should scare all of them. It's like every kid wants to rebel from the generation before them, and currently right now, the rebellion looks like this. Like the Constitution, enjoy having a relationship with Jesus, try not to have babies out of wedlock, get married, and have a family. That is like the most rebellious stuff that you can do in America right now. Start your own business. Completely rebellion, right? Kids are looking at Charlie and the message that conservatives are bringing to the table and saying, that's the route I want to go. Yeah, I would be concerned if I was Gavin Newsom. Also, what does that say about Gav and his parenting style? He's the governor of California, one of the most prominent Democrats in the country, and his son is like, yeah, no, I'm out. You'd have to imagine this kid is living a very, very good life, right? Has all of his wants and needs handled, and even he sees through the propaganda. Yikes.
That we're getting clobbered.
Okay. Yes.
That you've figured something out.
It's not me. The president first deserves the credit.
But why? No, hold on. You were at this before Trump was Trump.
I know, but
he was a Democrat back in 2011 and 12.
The president deserves huge credit And I just have to say that as an obligatory thing, because without him, our movement would be small. And you can appreciate that in politics. You have to appreciate the person who is the catalyst.
For you, that's what you sort of attached an identity with.
It was also
him.
just the catalyst. It was a cultural moment that just opened us up.
It has been a cultural moment. It has absolutely been a cultural moment. And some of my work with Turning Point USA is helping facilitate some of these events on college campuses. And those moments are just so real and authentic, where Charlie just busts the narrative in real time. And what was once like these small campus events have turned into massive events. They were at USC the other day, and thousands of kids showing up. Thousands at USC. And it always goes to liberal narratives, and Charlie always busts them. Yesterday, they posted a video. It's they were talking about DEI and hiring practices. Again, this is on college campuses. This is how you bust the narrative. You go to where these kids are at. And Charlie's wearing a Gulf of America shirt, and the liberal kid that shows up to the mic immediately says, I don't like your shirt.
I don't like your T-shirt. I'm an immigrant. I don't understand why you would want to deport some of my friends and family who have been working hard in this country.
What's your name? Sorry.
I'm Claudio, sir.
Yeah, Claudio. And this is just a thought exercise, but it's very revealing. You are king, and you find out that there are 30 million uninvited people in your country. What do you do with them?
I try to find the most humane way of sending them back to our country. But first of all, I want to say...
That's what we're doing.
Wait.
That's what we're doing. So what?
I mean, listen, he busts these narratives in real time, and you can see the kid's brain it's malfunctioning. Why did I say that? Oh, no, I used common sense and logic, and now everything I said a moment ago I stand for is turned completely upside down.
What country did you emigrate from?
Are you going to, discriminate against me?
No, I'm going to do the opposite, actually.
I'm Mexican.
But you came here legally, correct?
I did.
You followed the rules. The people that you know didn't follow the rules.
True.
So I divide America not into Hispanic and white, into rule follower and rule breaker.
Yeah.
And so when someone breaks our rules, there must be justice done. And the most humane way is you go back to your country of origin.
Some of my boys, they're being persecuted back home, them and their families, they're in drug-related wars and violence, and the only way out is if they escape and they break the American law, but that's the only way they're going to survive.
If that is correct, we have a special asylum status that they could seek legally at a port of entry, that they could go through a whole process.
Yeah, but if they're being persecuted, wouldn't it be justified to cut the line?
No. If we all of a sudden say that if you have a lot of gang violence and issues, I mean, we have a lot of gang violence and issues. What are we talking about here?
True.
You have to draw the line. If your plane is going down, what do they tell you to do first? You put your mask on first. It's the same way as a country. We need to put our own oxygen mask on first, and then we can worry about helping other people.
I mean, listen, it's the common sense that busts the narrative on these college campuses. And then he goes viral online with these videos, and there is an element of mocking the radical left and not wanting to be a loser that has helped turn the cultural tide with the youth. Make no mistake about it. But yeah, Charlie's winning big on college campuses. Turning Point USA is winning big on college campuses, and it's by design.
You are making a damn dent.
Thank you. I'm kidding.
But I appreciate that. I mean, it's the reason you're here, because I think people need to understand your success, your influence, what you've been up to, and the fact that you're on these college campus doors. And to your point, man, you just open up. I mean, you're like, ask me anything.
Anything.
Challenge me,
whatever.
When did this whole thing, when did you start putting this together?
I've been at this for 13 years, and it's been a wild movement, really accelerated once President Trump kind of came on the scene. Right around, I'd say 2021, we had a goal. Could we move the youth vote 10 points over 10 years? And
it was literally you sat down and put that numerical together.
Yeah, can we move it 10 points over 10 years? Ish, approximate. Yeah. Because our whole hypothesis was, and we did this alongside President Trump and his great team, was that this demographic is disproportionately to the Democrat side. We believe Democrats were taking them for granted. We think that your side had no message whatsoever and an ideological monopoly. We saw some of the fault lines there. And to President Trump's credit, he also harmonized with the strategy by going on podcasting and using TikTok. But yeah, I mean, we did it in 4 years, not 10, large in part thanks to you guys.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of the credit does go to the left. It absolutely does. But what Charlie and Turning Point did, especially in some crucial swing states like Arizona and Wisconsin, it can't be discounted. Like you can't say enough about what they've done. It's truly amazing. And being just a small part of that world has been unbelievably fun. It's been wild, but I don't know why Gavin would have Charlie on his podcast. I mean, they did. It wasn't just Charlie's doing great at Turning Point. I mean, they talked about some issues as well. One being men and women's sports.
So like you right now should come out and be like, you know what? The young man who's about to win the state championship in the long jump in female sports, that shouldn't happen. You as the governor should step out say no.
No, and I appreciate
but like, would you do something like that? Would you say no men in female sports?
Well, I think it's an issue of fairness. I completely agree with you on that. So that's easy to call out, the unfairness of that. There's also a humility and a grace, that these poor people are more likely to commit suicide, have anxiety and depression. And the way that people talk down to vulnerable communities is an issue that I have a hard time with as well.
I love how he says these people have more likely to commit suicide. It's like, actually, study after study keeps coming out that it's post-surgery, post-operation, the thing that's supposed to fix these individuals with gender dysphoria, it's post-genital mutilation that suicidal ideation goes through the roof. It's post-top and bottom surgery that depression skyrockets. You're not actually saving anybody by going the whole 9 yards. You're actually making it quite worse. And you never address the issues that are underlying in a lot of these scenarios, like rampant abuse, bipolar disorders, anxiety, autism, all these different mental health disorders. They never address that. They say, oh, you just might be a boy. You actually may be in the wrong body. And for whatever reason, these kids latch onto it. And then they get a little bit further down the road and reality sets in and they think, what have I done? This is irreversible. And meanwhile, you have a trail of destruction in the way. You have girls that have been robbed from their sporting activities, and that could lead to real-world consequences. I mean, if you're not winning your competition as a female athlete, well, maybe you don't get that scholarship. Then, you let these individuals go down the line, they get their surgeries, and now they're more likely to commit suicide. They're more likely to be depressed. They act like they have some big heart in this entire situation, but they don't. They don't. One more Charlie and Gavin clip real quick. Charlie challenged Gavin Newsom to explain why California Democrats cleaned up San Francisco for Xi Jinping, yet they never seem to clean it up for American citizens.
Why is it you were able to clean it up for Xi Jinping, but you
that
can't
was
clean
you
it up?
guys. That was the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. By the way, you guys weaponized that. I saw that on 25 things. It was the most ridiculous. That was you know what? I will happily revert back to your
Can I have the streets as clean as Xi Jinping?
In this case, weaponized.
Can I
weaponized.
Can I get the Xi Jinping
It was
streets
ridiculous.
back?
Give me a break.
No, but Governor, with all due respect, I saw a beautiful picture of San Francisco that looked like Singapore.
By the way,
and then Xi Jinping leaves, and the Walking Dead come back.
By the way, it was APAC. You had dozens and dozens of foreign leaders, and California is not San Francisco. But I am the governor of California, not the mayor of California, not the mayor of San Francisco.
You were the mayor, but I just want to understand why is it that we were able to clean it up? But you have to admit, it's emblematic of something that if enough important people show up, it can get clean. So why not make it clean all the time?
Amen. You do it for your boss when he shows up, but you don't do it for your citizens living there. Yep. I don't know why I invited Charlie on. Any leftist that's watching the Gavcast, they're going to be force-fed some red pills by one Charlie Kirk. It's 11:21 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. $22 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Chris Hand here, and I want to tell you about my friend Shane Ring over at Cover Nash. Do you need health insurance, or are you paying too much for your health insurance? Are you not sure if you're paying too much for your health insurance, but you feel like it's a bit pricey? Talk to my friend Shane Ring over at Cover Nash. He could be saving you a boatload of money on your health coverage, and he could get you better health coverage. Shane has over 75 different companies to shop from, 20 years of experience, and he could easily be getting you access to any type of plan available in the market and saving you 30 to 60% on your monthly premiums. Some of the plans that Shane can get you involved with will even pay you when you use them. Don't let a call center agent, a car salesman of health insurance take advantage of you or someone you love. Call Shane Ring today. He'll give you the real deal, and he'll save you some actual money. 615-465-0023 is the number to call Shane Ring, or you can go to covernash.com to book an appointment today. That's 615-465-0023 to get an appointment with Shane Ring and get a health plan managed by you, not the government. Covernash.com.
Did you know you're overpaying for your health and wellness products?
With over 20 company-owned brands offering its members vitamins, supplements, wellness, and skincare products, you're able to save up to 70% off retail.
Members Nutrition can't change your life, but we can change the way you live.
Right now in Tennessee, authorities are investigating after a teacher was found dead in a classroom right before class started. We'll tell you about that and more at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Geez, that story sounds wild. Ken Weaver coming up at 11:30, 26 minutes past the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hand. Better Water LLC brings you the show. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. So I was playing some of these clips of Charlie Kirk and Gavin Newsom on the Gavcast IRL. But leftists are already not responding to it very well. They're very upset. So it's actually, this is maybe the worst thing that Gavin Newsom ever did, right? You're either going to turn off your base or you're going to red pill your base. And it doesn't seem like there's any in between. Charlie asked him about men and women's sports.
It's like you right now should come out and be like, you know what? The young man who's about to win the state championship in the long jump in female sports, that shouldn't happen. You as the governor should step out and say no.
No. Didn't that kid jump like 8 feet? 8 feet?
It was wild.
And I appreciate
but like, would you do something like that? Would you say no men in female sports?
Well, I think it's an issue of fairness. I completely agree with you on that. So that's easy to call out, the unfairness of that.
it's easy to call out the unfairness of men competing against women. And then Charlie posted this tweet from obviously a radical leftist who said, Gavin Newsom, you are an effing coward for not standing with trans people. Would never support your ticket for president. Again, you're either going to red pill the base or you're going to revolt the base, right? Like there's no in between, it seems.
That's the fun part about Democrats. They're always trying to please other people.
I know.
Never standing on their own bases.
I know. Then, the Democrats champion diversity, yet they call our president a Nazi and a dictator and all those things. But we have a pretty diverse cabinet. I don't know if you've noticed, but, Kash Patel, Tulsi Gabbard, we got Democrats in there. I think the best part about it is the diversity of thought. Gavin Newsom was confronted with the idea of how our diversity in the cabinet is actually our strength, the ideological diversity.
Any Democrats you admire out there right now?
Democrats I respect. Bobby Kennedy I respect. Tulsi Gabbard.
Why are you laughing? Why are you smiling?
Because they're on our team now. Because you guys kicked out your best people. It's like the people that were into. This is a great point, though, Governor. Is that Bobby Kennedy was a heterodox opinion on a thing that a lot of people were concerned about. Get him out. He's an anti-vaxxer. Yeah. Tulsi Gabbard, who was an anti-war. Get her out. She's a Russian agent. Yeah. You guys see how you have an unhealthy purification process where eventually you're left with just a 31% approval rating and a bunch of people that are talking to each other. And meanwhile, we're the ones that have Democrats in our cabinet winning the electoral majority vote, because there needs to be said, if Democrats are serious about being a majority party ever again, look at that ideological diversity. We have people that, they want to go to war with every country that says something bad against us. And then we have people that are far more dovish, like Rand Paul. But that is a better, more, dare I say, diverse picture. You could say diversity is our strength.
Yeah, you could. You could make the argument that diversity is now a strength of the current Republican Party. Again, I don't know why he went with Charlie first, but I sure am glad that he did. That episode's out today of the Gavcast. I don't know. That's not the real name. I can't remember the real name of the podcast. Do you remember what the real name of the podcast is?
They were talking about it on Fox News. It's called This Is Gavin Newsom.
Oh, my gosh. What a dumb name.
It's so dumb.
Gavcast is way better.
I wholeheartedly agree.
The Gavin Newsom experience, far better.
The new cast.
Oh, the new cast.
I like the Gavcast.
I feel like we could come up with better names. But this is the issue with Democrats in general. They have no creativity whatsoever. The left can't meme is one of the truest statements ever, and they just have no creativity. Democrats in general, they can't build anything new. They sure as hell can destroy something, though. It's 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Right now in Tennessee, authorities are investigating after a teacher was found dead in a classroom at Munford High School just before school started today. There were no indications of foul play, according to authorities. Students are safe. Tipton County Schools Assistant Superintendent Rebecca Bird quoted as saying that the death was an isolated incident. They let everybody go home for the day. President Trump pausing tariffs on Mexico under the trade deal he brokered during his first term. He's going to give it until April 2nd. He says out of respect for President Sheinbaum, who he says is working hard with the U.S. on the border, both in terms of stopping illegal aliens from entering the United States and likewise stopping fentanyl. The president says thank you to President Sheinbaum for your hard work and cooperation. Over in the U.S. Capitol, this is about a dozen Democrats huddling around Texas Congressman Al Green before he was censured this morning. Said to be singing "We Shall Overcome." Stephen Portnoy says it didn't stop Speaker Mike Johnson. Green ultimately punished, censured, for interrupting President Trump's speech to the joint session of Congress this week.
House has resolved.
The measure censuring Texas Democrat Al Green passed with 10 members of his party joining Republicans in voting in favor.
The House had come to order. The House had come to order.
More than a dozen Democrats surrounded Green in the well of the House as he raised his cane in the air and sang, "We shall overcome."
The House had come to order. Clear the well. well, please. Clear the well.
Speaker Mike Johnson then sent the House into recess, turning off the cameras and microphones. Outside of public view, a partisan shouting match went on for several minutes.
Yeah, I'm working on getting that sound. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Thank you, Ken. 32 minutes past the hour. I'm looking at you guys on the text line and in the YouTube chat, and we're getting some much better name suggestions for the Gavin Newsom podcast.
Oh, yeah?
The Gavcast. Yep. How about Gaslighting with Gavin? That's from 7684. American Woman in the YouTube chat said, call it Gavin with the good hair. Yep, that's a good one.
Like Area 931. This is New Scum.
This is New Scum. Yeah, there's a lot of good opportunities. If you got a name suggestion, we'll get it over to Gavin. We will. We'll do our best. We'll set up. Also, did we ever get Jake Tapper confirmed for an interview?
Nah.
Yeah. So color me shocked.
Yeah. Then again, it's him, so he might be going to my junk. Let me check it real quick.
It could be going to spam. It's 11:33 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We tell you about these guys all the time. Better Water LLC. You got to think of this as like a big Brita filter for your house or office. Scalable from under the sink to your whole home applications. And it removes everything. I mean, do you know what's in your water? There could be some nasty stuff in there, man. I'm not even going to lie to you. Sulfur, iron, chlorine, bacteria, E. coli. This is the water you're drinking. This is the water that you're bathing your kids and your grandkids in. Yuck. Do you know what's in your water? They'll test it for you for free at Better Water LLC. All you got to do is give them a call, 615-355-6063. And if you have some of that nasty stuff in your water, they offer a full range of water treatment equipment, reverse osmosis units, water softeners, specialized filters, UV lights, you name it. These are the same guys treating the water at your favorite local coffee shop, the hospitals that you go to. They know what they're doing. Call my friend Craig. Call my friend Brandy. They'll get your water tested for free. 615-355-6063. 615-355-6063. BetterWater.com. 37 minutes past the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. If you're watching over on YouTube, please hit like, hit subscribe. It helps feed the kids. I want to get them into summer camp. Dan got a lot of likes this morning, and so Riker's going to camp. And I'm going to have to tell my kids that, they weren't as lucky. Unless you hit like and subscribe.
I mean, technically we need 5 more.
And we could do that. I'm still not going to guarantee camp. We need to get those numbers up.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, we've been doing so good at hitting triple digits.
Let's go.
It's to be expected now.
I love the YouTube chat, though. It's the most red pill chat ever. I think you guys will enjoy this. J.D. Vance down at the border yesterday, echoing much of what President Trump said in his speech that wasn't a State of the Union that everybody called the State of the Union.
We took the helicopter ride over here, and we saw a big chunk of border wall. And I said, is that the federal government's border wall? And they said, well, it was ordered during the first Trump administration, but Joe Biden wouldn't let us actually build it. Governor Abbott, of course, was the one who actually helped us put a lot of that stuff up. And, of course, that stopped the flow in a pretty profound way. We'll talk a little bit more at the press conference, but as you saw, the president said yesterday, I think it's maybe the most important part of his speech, is that we didn't need new laws to secure the border. We needed a new president, and thank God we have that. I've heard already from a number of the folks that I've talked to in Border Patrol that all we needed to do was empower these guys to do their job. Thank God they have done their job. We're thrilled that they've done it, and now we've seen, I think just in this area, border crossings go from about 1,500 a day to 30 a day. That's simply the President of the United States empowering these professionals to do what they do so well. So.
Yeah, he's not wrong, and Trump wasn't wrong either. All we needed was a new president. We didn't need new laws. We didn't need a new bipartisan border bill. We that had money for Ukraine and Israel. We didn't need any of that. What we really needed was leadership, and we've seen that under President Trump. Also, Biden could have sat on his hands, and it wouldn't have been as bad, right? Like Biden. He rolled back a bunch of Trump executive orders. Had he just done that, it wouldn't have been as bad. But Biden took it a step further. He wasn't just rolling back Trump-era policies that worked. He was flying these illegal aliens into the country from their countries of origin through the CBP One app. He was suing Arizona to take down the shipping container wall. He was suing Texas over their buoys in the Rio Grande. He was suing Texas over the razor wire in Eagle Pass. He sent federal agents to Eagle Pass to lift the razor wire, to let the migrants, let the newcomers in. So it wasn't just that Biden did things policy-wise. It's that he did actionable things to make the border less safe. He sold out the country. Let's not mince words. It was traitorous what he did. That's not the case anymore. And by having a strong leader in the White House, we've seen these numbers just absolutely plummet. But, listen, what about the wall, right? Like, we need the wall to be finished. J.D. Vance gave an update on the wall, when he thinks it's going to be completed at the southern border, and it could be sooner than you think.
How do you and the president define success this term with the border wall, and how much of the southern border wall needs to be walled off before Trump leaves office?
Well, look, I think the president's hope is that by the end of the term, we build the entire border wall. And, of course, that's the physical structure of the border wall itself. But we even heard today there are so many good technological tools, so many great artificial intelligence enabled technologies that allow us, for example, a camera, not a person, but a camera picks up somebody 2 miles away who's about to come across the southern border. Maybe it's livestock, right? Maybe it's a critter in the desert. Maybe it's a human being with a weapon on their back. We're using artificial intelligence to make us better at the job of border enforcement, but we've got to make sure that technology is deployed across the entire American southern border. We're going to do it as much as we can, as broadly as we can, because that's how we're going to protect the American people's security.
Yeah, and listen, I do think that they actually have a real calling, and they actually believe in protecting the American people. I don't think this is just lip service. That he means it when he says it. This is just the new reality. It wasn't just J.D. Vance down there. Tulsi Gabbard joined him as well, and so did Pete Hegseth. Pete essentially said, "You think what we're doing is good right now? Well, we're not even 100% operational yet.
Here with you, with the director, with our fellow friends in civilian clothes and in other shades of green. This is a demonstration of a true partnership on the southern border. As President Trump has made clear on the campaign trail and from day one and last night, border security is national security.
Amen.
And from the Defense Department, we've watched for a couple of decades other people's borders being secured while ours was open for an invasion.
Yeah, I mean, we were essentially paying to secure other borders all over the world. But if we did that in our own country, it was racist and xenophobic, and we were a bunch of bigots and Nazis, right?
Of drugs and of violence and of chaos for American communities. That stops under President Trump. And the Defense Department has assets that we can bring to bear, not just troops, not just surveillance, not just equipment, but actual planning and capabilities that enhance what Border Patrol is already doing, which is why it's been incredible to hear from our partners about what we've been able to allow them to do, facilitate them, and we've seen it in the numbers. 98% drop in crossings on the southern border. We're not yet at 100% operational control, but we are on our way because that is the mandate that the president has given us. So more resources are coming to this border. We are dedicated to securing it. That's the reason for our trip and our partnership. And I want to thank all the men and women who've been doing it recently in uniform, who have been doing it a long time right here, have dedicated their lives to securing the American people. And at the Defense Department, we are committed to continuing to being a big part of it. So, Mr.
I love that. We're not. You think this is good so far? 98% drop in border crossings. We're not even 100% operational yet. This is going to get even more secure, says Hegseth. Thank you. JD Vance, obviously, he had some questions to answer. One of the questions was about Mexican tariffs. We now understand that has been delayed again for another 30 days. But one of the best things that he said about the tariffs was, listen, if you want to avoid tariffs, like it's really, really quite simple.
On tariffs, are any other industries other than automotive reaching out to you guys to carve out special deals? And did the automotive industry know this was coming before today?
Well, a number of industries have reached out to us to ask us for exceptions to the tariffs, but I think the president's been very clear here that he wants the tariffs to apply broadly. He doesn't want to have 500 different industries getting 500 different carve-outs, and the way to avoid application of the tariffs is to have your factory and have your facility in the United States of America. That is the way. Invest in America. That is how you will avoid being penalized by these tariffs.
I mean, it seems pretty simple, and you're seeing a lot of industry making those investments and making those adjustments to avoid the tariffs, from Apple to Honda and everything in between. That's pretty much the easiest way to do it. There's so much to get to. Yesterday, we had the House Oversight Committee hearing with the sanctuary city mayors, which was wild. And Boston, their mayor, Michelle Wu, she showed up and she wanted to let everybody know that actually, believe it or not, Boston is the safest major city in the United States, and because they're safe for everyone. And when they say everyone, you put it in quotes, and you can replace it with child raping illegal aliens. That would fit there.
1 in 4 Boston residents were born somewhere else. Most have jobs. Many have kids. All of them chose this country as their home because, like my mom and dad, they believe that here, where you've been, doesn't limit where you're going. The strength of your character has nothing to do with the color of your passport. And how hard you work matters more than where you were born.
Now, during this opening statement of Mayor Michelle Wu out of Boston, I think that it's important to note that she is conflating illegal immigration with legal immigration. Yes, Boston is a home to many immigrants, and she goes a step further in this. She brings up the Red Sox. She goes, on the last 4 Red Sox rosters to win a World Series, 1 in 5 were immigrants. Of all the faculty members at Boston University to have earned the Nobel Prize, all but 1 were immigrants. She said the strength of your character has nothing to do with your passport. It's like, okay, you're repeatedly mixing up illegal and legal immigration and suggesting that there's no difference between that status is just a joke. You're gaslighting the American people again, and using the Boston Red Sox to do it is just shameful. And while she should be shameful of her own statements, Mayor Michelle Wu said, no, actually, the shame should be at Tom Homan's feet.
The city of Boston. What did you understand him to mean by that?
Let's talk about Tom Homan. Shame on him for lying about my city, for having the nerve to insult our police commissioner who has overseen the safest Boston's been in anyone's lifetime. Bring him here under oath and let's ask him some questions. I am here to make sure that the city of Boston is safe. Others may want to bring hell. We are here to bring peace to cities everywhere.
Oh, yeah, we're here to bring peace. Unless, you're a victim of illegal alien crime and the illegal alien who has an ICE detainer has now been released without being picked up by ICE. Yeah. Tom Homan had some things to say to Mayor Michelle Wu in regards to that statement last night on the Ingram angle. Tom Homan showed up, and he said he was on a plane when she made that statement, and he hadn't heard it yet. Ingram played the clip for him. This was his response.
Look, I was on an airplane today. I didn't see that hearing, but thank you for playing that, because now I'm going to sleep like a baby. Because if I can get to live in her mind rent-free every day, that's kind of cool. I love my job. I work for the greatest president in my lifetime. We're making America safe again. President Trump promised the American people we're going to shut down illegal alien crime in this country. That's exactly what we're doing. Mayor Wu should be standing side by side with me. Who does not want to bring hell to an illegal alien that raped a child? Not one, many of them. I stopped counting at 9.
I stopped counting at 9, he said. It's disgraceful. Yeah, why wouldn't you want to make your community safer? Listen, there were other mayors there. I take the most issue with Mayor Michelle Wu out of Boston. I have a lot of family and friends up in that area, and it's disgraceful what's been done to that city. Listen, this has been reported time and time again how bad Boston is when it comes to releasing these illegal aliens. And it's like these guys are raping kids. And you're going to protect them? A quick Google search will pull up all of this information for Mayor Michelle Wu. She can keep her head buried in the sand in Boston, but it doesn't change the reality of what's happening in her city.
A short time later, ICE took down their final target, a Brazilian gang member, also charged with child rape. Just this morning today, 4 accused child rapists and 1 MS-13 gang member. Those are the kind of people you're going after.
That's every day up here in Boston. If those are the public safety threats that we really want to get off the street, it was a great day for the teams. That's 5 public safety threats that are in the community going to go ahead and victimize anyone else.
Okay, so just to, I hope Mayor Wu out of Boston hears that, and she probably won't, because she probably doesn't listen to dissenting opinion very much, and she's probably surrounded by yes people who just say slay queen, slay, and things like of that nature. But that was the ICE director out of Boston. This report was back in April of 2024. Fourth alleged child rapist arrest of the morning. He had been released by local jurisdictions who refused to cooperate with ICE. The ICE director of Boston said this is every day in Boston. Yet Mayor Michelle Wu gets up there at the House Oversight Committee hearing and says, oh, we're safe for everyone. It's like, no, you're not. Keep lying to the American people. We see right through it. Anna Paulina Luna said of the 4 mayors at that hearing yesterday that she will be recommending criminal prosecution for their flouting of federal law to Attorney General Pam Bondi. And for that, we say, Anna Paulina Luna, thank you. Accountability needs to be the name of the game. And these mayors need to be held accountable as well. There's a lot more to get to from that hearing. We'll cover it a little bit more in detail tomorrow. But, I mean, there's so much news every single day, and it's like we're drinking out of a fire hose. I swear, I could probably do 6 hours and not repeat one story lately. It's been that nuts.
It's been that way for the hour and a half that I've been here.
Dude, It's crazy.
It is constant.
Well, and then we're breaking local news too. Like earlier today, you guys have been covering that hit and run with that woman.
Yeah.
I had a source at a I'll just say local law enforcement office. Okay, I don't even want to give it away. He said, please keep me anonymous.
Right.
Send me screenshots of her ICE detainer.
Yeah.
Color me shocked. Color me shocked. It's 11:52 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, programming alert. Chad Benson is out today. I can only assume he's dealing with a bout of diarrhea because nobody gave me any other reason. But that means Brian Wilson is going to be filling in. So we're going to have a drive-by with Brian Wilson when we get back. It's 11:52 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Weather can change in an instant, and you need to be prepared for any outcome. That's why Generator Supercenter of Nashville will help keep your family safe and connected. We make buying a backup generator simple and easy, with financing options available, free in-home estimate, turnkey installations, no worry warranty, and most importantly, the monitoring and service of your fully installed generator. Come see us at our location in Nashville or visit us online. Generator Supercenter of Nashville. We serve all Middle Tennessee.
It's 11:56 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I'm Chris Hand. You can find me on Twitter, True Social, and Instagram at Chris Hand on air. Hit the follow button. I will follow back. Everybody get down. It's a drive-by. Brian Wilson is in the building. What's up, man?
Hey, we're doing good. It's filling in for Chad Benson today, and I'm looking forward to it.
I mean, I'm sure you got plenty to talk about. I was just making the note earlier. It's like there's stuff I want to talk about, and I just don't have time.
I'll give you one of those that just caught my attention. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it today, but it is interesting that in Washington, the musical Hamilton was supposed to be at the Kennedy Center.
Okay.
All right. They canceled because they don't like what Donald Trump stands for.
Oh.
Well, what's interesting is if you know anything about history, you know that Alexander Hamilton, wasn't just the star of some musical on Broadway. He was a man who believed in, an entrepreneurial form of economy that made America great. He was into merit. He was entrepreneurial. And by the way, a believer in the Second Amendment, although he wasn't a particularly good shot, as history has shown us.
Well, listen, I don't know. I never watched Hamilton. I had too much fear of it being woke trash, much to the dismay of my daughter, who said, "Dad, everything's woke trash to you." I said, I know. But I do understand it's a successful play, and the Kennedy Center is having budget issues. So that stinks.
I mean, it just shows you how crazy it is that you have a musical dedicated to a man who would, if he were alive today, no doubt, be a member of Trump's cabinet.
He'd be one of those right-wing extremists.
Yes, he would. And yet, you feel like you can do the show, but you can't do the show in Washington because you don't like Trump.
Yep.
I guarantee you Alexander Hamilton would have been completely in Trump's court.
Oh, 100%. There's a meme that goes around online that I always think is hilarious, and it's Washington and Hamilton and Madison, and it says, "Me and my homies would have been stacking bodies by now."
That's right. They're not gonna miss my shot, is what he would have said.
No.
Except he did miss his shot at the end.
Yeah, man. I'm excited to hear you on the air today. Where's your focus going to be? A little bit of Kennedy Center stuff. What stories
I think
are
I wanted to get
fancy?
that one out of the way, but I think I'm going to focus a lot on Al Green being censured today in the House and how successful President Trump's speech was, and how the Democrats are just melting down in total disarray. A lot of good stuff to cover there.
Okay, I got a question for you on Al Green being censured, and this is my opinion. We're trying to cut waste. We're trying to save money. Doesn't that just feel like a big waste of time and money censoring somebody when nothing really is going to happen? Or like, what are the consequences of that?
Nothing more than it just is sort of an asterisk on your bio that you were once censured by the House of Representatives. But it is ridiculous that the Democrats keep doing things that don't make any sense when 75% of the people who heard the president's speech thought it was perfect.
Yep.
Thought it was great. And Democrats keep going out there and doing crazy stuff.
Art of war, man. Don't interrupt your enemies while they're making a mistake.
Exactly.
Brian Wilson is in next. He's going to hang out with you till 3 o'clock right here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
High noon, and I'm Ken Weaver with your